Scorpio, come closer for a moment. March 8-9 carries a texture you can already feel under your skin, like water shifting beneath the surface of a still lake. This is Pisces season, and the current runs deep, slow, almost invisible to anyone who does not live the way you live, tuned to undertones, to silence, to what moves behind the curtain. You, Scorpio, recognize that kind of movement instantly. There is an energetic portal opening across these 2 days, subtle yet immense. It does not crash through your life with noise, it hums low in your chest. A memory resurfaces, a dream lingers longer than usual, a name echoes through your thoughts with unusual weight. Something ancient inside you straightens its spine. Scorpio, you have walked through cycles that reshaped you from the inside out. Layers have fallen away over time, like skin shed in darkness, where only you witnessed the process. March 8-9 feels like the final exhale of a karmic chapter that has stretched across months, maybe years. The air tastes different when a cycle prepares to close. This moment asks for awareness rather than reaction. Your intuition sharpens during Pisces season, turning into a compass that points toward truth. The kind of truth that rises from the ocean floor, carrying fragments of what was buried. You sense it before it arrives in words. There is a quiet reclaiming happening within you, Scorpio. Power returning through the bloodstream, through the breath, through the steady rhythm of your own knowing. The rebirth unfolding now carries your signature, intense, private, deliberate. Like a phoenix that rises in the stillness before dawn, wings unfolding in sacred silence. You may feel slightly outside your comfort zone, as if the ground beneath you has softened just enough to invite movement. Familiar patterns begin to loosen their grip. Old emotional contracts start to dissolve at the edges. Something in you recognizes that this is a turning point, even if you cannot yet name what is turning. March 8-9 holds a mirror to your inner world. Scorpio, you see yourself more clearly in reflective water than in bright daylight. What surfaces during these days carries meaning, even in its smallest form, a conversation, a symbol, a sudden surge of clarity that lands in your body like a bell tone. Your energy reorganizes itself from within. If you feel this shift already moving through you, anchor it right now. Comment, March 8-9, I rise. If you see repeating signs around you, comment 888 to claim alignment. Because what awakens during this portal is only the first layer of something deeper. And Scorpio, we are about to step into what that truly means. There is a quiet shift unfolding around you now, Scorpio, and it carries the weight of justice in its own measured rhythm. It does not rush in with drama or demand attention from the outside world. It settles into your bones, into the places where you once held tension, and it begins to recalibrate something ancient. Karmic balance moves like underground water, steady, purposeful, reshaping the landscape from beneath your feet. You have carried experiences that left marks only you could see. Moments of betrayal, silence, power struggles that unfolded behind closed doors, all of it etched into your inner world. Scorpio, your strength has always lived in endurance, in your ability to hold intensity without flinching. And now there is a sense that every unseen battle has been witnessed by something greater than circumstance. Justice appears here as alignment. As scales slowly finding equilibrium after years of tilt, you may feel it as a subtle easing in your chest, a loosening of the grip you once kept around certain memories. What felt chaotic begins to arrange itself into pattern, into meaning. For Scorpio, karma is personal. It threads through relationships, shared energy, spoken words, unspoken intentions, and in this season, those threads begin to reorganize. Not through confrontation, not through force, but through a higher order that moves with precision and grace. There is power in realizing that the universe records everything, every sacrifice, every restraint, every time you chose dignity over reaction. You sense a return of energy that once flowed outward, a restoration that feels less like reward and more like reclamation. You stand differently now, Scorpio. Taller in your own energy, less entangled in the need to prove, to expose, to correct. The battlefield that once lived in your chest grows quieter, replaced by a calm authority that speaks without raising its voice. Power over revenge becomes a lived experience rather than a concept. You feel how much energy revenge requires, how it binds you to the very thing you wish to transcend. Forgiveness begins to look like liberation, like setting down a weight you have outgrown. This forgiveness carries sophistication. It is not softness without boundaries, it is clarity. It is the decision to reclaim your emotional territory and allow karma to complete its work without your constant supervision. Scorpio. When you release the past from your grip, your energy multiplies. It expands outward, filling spaces that once felt constrained. You notice a new steadiness in your reactions, a refined sense of control that comes from within rather than from managing others. There is purification happening here, a subtle cleansing of old emotional residue. The scales continue to adjust, and you feel yourself rising into a position that feels earned rather than demanded. And as this sacred balance settles into place, something else begins to stir beneath the surface, a deeper layer of truth preparing to reveal itself in the days of March 8 to 9. As sacred balance settles into place, Scorpio, the atmosphere around March 8-9 begins to feel charged with something finer, sharper. This is the clarity window, and it moves through Pisces season like light filtering through deep water. You sense it before you see it, a subtle rearranging of perception, a quiet click inside your awareness. The fog that once softened every outline starts to thin. Truth rises differently for you, Scorpio. It does not crash through the door. It surfaces from beneath, like something long submerged, finally ready for air. A conversation lands with unusual weight. A glance reveals more than words. A pattern suddenly makes sense. Pieces that once felt scattered begin to align into a single, coherent image. March 8 to 9 carries the energy of revelation, not dramatic exposure, but precise illumination. You look at a person and feel the full texture of who they are, their intention, their capacity, their place in your journey. Soul connections reveal their depth, and passing energies reveal their temporary nature. Scorpio, your intuition reaches a peak during this Pisces current. It flows through you effortlessly, without strain, without overthinking. What you feel in your body becomes guidance. What your dreams whisper at night becomes insight by morning. There is relief in this awareness, a slow exhale as uncertainty dissolves. The mind settles because the heart already understands. You begin to see where your energy thrives and where it thins out, who expands you, who contracts you. The truth draws clean lines without harshness, and those lines feel like freedom. Control once felt like protection, like a shield you carried through unpredictable terrain. Now, clarity offers something steadier. When you see clearly, Scorpio, you move differently, less guarded, more intentional. There is maturity in choosing transparency over mystery, even for a sign that knows the power of secrets. You recognize that your depth remains intact, even when the surface becomes clear. Your intensity gains refinement when it flows from awareness rather than defense. Some realizations arrive softly, almost tender. Others carry the quiet weight of finality. You hold both with composure. During these days, Scorpio, you may notice how quickly your internal yes and no become unmistakable. The body responds before the mind forms language. A subtle tightening, a sudden warmth, a calm certainty that spreads through your chest. These sensations speak clearly. You trust them more now. Pisces season amplifies your emotional intelligence, yet it also refines it. Sensitivity sharpens into discernment. You sense the difference between fantasy and resonance, between projection and genuine connection. Scorpio, there is something almost sacred about seeing without distortion. You look back at recent months and recognize how every confusion prepared you for this precision. Every delay taught you patience. Every doubt strengthened your inner compass. Clarity changes how you carry yourself. Your posture shifts. Your tone softens yet gains authority. You may find that certain conversations unfold with surprising ease. Words that once felt heavy move through you cleanly. Boundaries express themselves without friction. March 8-9 feels like standing at the edge of a still ocean at dawn. The horizon sharpens, colors deepen, and everything comes into focus at once. You realize how long your inner compass has been pointing in this direction. Scorpio. When clarity finds you, seal it with intention. Comment, I trust my intuition. Because as this veil lifts and your path becomes unmistakable, the next movement begins to form something tangible, something that asks you to channel this truth into structure and form. As clarity settles into your awareness, Scorpio, something practical begins to take shape. Insight transforms into intention, and intention seeks form. This is where the Page of Pentacles enters your field grounded, steady, carrying the energy of a real opportunity. It feels small at first glance, almost understated, yet it hums with potential that stretches far beyond the surface. You may sense it as an idea that refuses to leave you alone, a conversation about work that lingers longer than expected, a financial shift, a collaboration, an invitation that aligns with the truth you just uncovered. Scorpio, this is not random motion, this is structure, beginning to assemble around your renewed power. There is something deeply satisfying for you in building from the ground up. You understand transformation, but now transformation asks for discipline. It asks for focus, for consistency, for daily choices that anchor your vision into the physical world. The Page of Pentacles carries that frequency, earth meeting water, vision meeting form. March 8-9 opens the first door. It may look like a simple step, a single decision, a commitment whispered rather than announced. Yet you feel the weight of it in your body, the way your spine straightens when something aligns with your future. Scorpio, you recognize when a foundation feels solid. This opportunity carries maturity. It invites you to invest your energy where it multiplies rather than where it drains. You begin to see your time, your focus, your emotional bandwidth as sacred currency. There is a shift in how you relate to power here. Power becomes strategic. It becomes measured. You may find yourself reorganizing your priorities, clearing physical space, revisiting long-term plans with sharper eyes. Scorpio, restructuring your life feels almost instinctual now. What once felt scattered begins to align into a coherent framework. Financial themes may rise to the surface, new income streams, negotiations, agreements that carry long-term promise. Career paths reveal alternative routes that feel more authentic to who you are becoming. Even partnerships take on a different tone, grounded in mutual respect and shared vision. Stability becomes attractive in a new way. It no longer feels restrictive, it feels liberating. A stable base allows your intensity to expand without chaos. Growth through discipline begins to make sense in your body. Small, consistent actions accumulate power over time. Scorpio, you understand depth, and now you apply that depth to your material world. There is confidence in taking your time, in building brick by brick, in allowing your plans to mature. March 8-9 acts as the ignition point, a quiet green light. You step forward with intention, carrying both intuition and strategy in equal measure. As you invest your energy wisely, the results begin to mirror your focus. Tangible progress appears, a sense of direction strengthens. And beneath this steady construction, you may feel another layer shifting, something older, preparing to close completely, as if the final chapter of a long karmic story is ready to turn its last page. There comes a moment, Scorpio, when you feel a chapter closing from the inside rather than from circumstance. It does not require an announcement. It arrives as a deep internal settling, as if the final thread of a long karmic story has been gently tied. The World card carries that sensation, now completion, that feels earned. You sense how far you have traveled emotionally. The loops that once replayed in your mind begin to lose their charge. Memories that carried heat now hold wisdom. Scorpio, this is what integration feels like. The world speaks of wholeness, yet this wholeness grew through layers of shedding. You walked through intensity, through attachment, through desire and control, and each experience carved depth into your spirit. Now, the cycle reaches its natural conclusion. The landscape inside you looks different. There is maturity in the way you hold your past. You no longer wrestle with it, you study it with calm eyes. Alongside this completion, the chariot steps forward, focused, steady, self-directed. This energy feels precise. Scorpio, it mirrors your ability to harness emotion without being consumed by it. You feel the reins in your hands now. Your life responds to your intention rather than your reaction. This is self-mastery in motion. An old emotional pattern closes quietly. Perhaps it was a relationship dynamic, a belief about your worth, a need to chase or to prove. The intensity that once fueled it softens into clarity. There is strength in this softness, a powerful stillness. Scorpio, you understand darkness intimately. You have navigated shadow with courage. And when you master your shadow, your light carries authority. March 8-9 acts as the threshold. You step across it aware of who you have been and conscious of who you are becoming. This transition feels deliberate, almost ceremonial. The chariot energy encourages direction. It asks where you choose to go from here. Yet the urgency that once pushed you has transformed into calm determination. You notice how your decisions shift. They come from alignment rather than impulse, from vision rather than reaction. There is peace in realizing that certain stories have run their course. Emotional debts feel settled. Energetic cords loosen naturally. Scorpio, you stand taller within yourself. You occupy your body fully. You move through space with grounded confidence. The completion of this karmic cycle does not erase the past. It transforms it into foundation. Every lesson becomes architecture for the future you are shaping. You feel gratitude in unexpected places, even for the chapters that once felt heavy. Especially for those chapters, the world turns, and you turn with it. The chariot rolls forward, and you guide it with steady hands. There is a quiet pride in this moment, a recognition of your own growth, a sense that you have arrived at a higher vantage point within your own life. And as this cycle closes with dignity and power, something luminous begins to rise from within, a deeper embodiment of who Scorpio truly is, ready to emerge in a way that feels both ancient and entirely new. Scorpio, you can feel it now, the quiet shift that has been unfolding beneath every word, every pause, every breath. March 8-9 stands like a subtle doorway behind you, and as you move forward, something within you feels restored. This is not loud transformation. This is sacred renewal. You have walked through shadow with open eyes. You have carried intensity like a second skin, shaped by experience, refined by truth. And now, Scorpio, there is a different texture to your energy, steady, sovereign, deeply rooted. The cycle that once defined you releases its grip, and in its place rises something luminous. This is the rebirth of the phoenix. Though it does not arrive in flames for you, it rises through composure, through awareness, through the quiet reclamation of your own power. Scorpio, you do not return to who you were, you evolve. The version of you standing here now carries depth that cannot be shaken by surface storms. There is reverence in this moment, a sense of standing at the edge of your own becoming. You feel the integration of everything you have lived, the endings, the awakenings, the rebuilding, merging into a single current that flows forward. March 8-9 marks a turning of the inner compass. You sense your path aligning with your essence. The power you once searched for outside settles firmly within your chest. It feels calm. It feels anchored. It feels true. Scorpio, when inner power is restored, your presence shifts. Your voice carries resonance. Your silence carries meaning. You move into this new chapter with depth and quiet authority. Your light expands through the mastery of your shadow. The phoenix does not ask for permission to rise, and as you stand here, aware of the distance you have traveled, there is space for reflection, space for gratitude, space for that steady flame inside you to burn brighter. As you step into this portal, claim it boldly. Comment, "I choose power." If you feel the rebirth in your bones, comment 777. And if this message found you at the right moment, you are always welcome to walk this path with me. You can gently press like, share this with another Scorpio who may need these words, or subscribe so we continue exploring these cycles together. Each connection here feels intentional, like souls gathering around a quiet fire. Scorpio, your journey continues deeper, wiser, radiant in its own stillness.